she's going to still want you to be hot, but she wants something longer term, so she needs to see those traits in you, and you have to show enough of them. You can have them but not show them. So you have to show them enough for her to make an evaluation like, yeah, my pussy gets tingly for this guy, but also I can use my brain, and I know that he affects me emotionally on those levels, but also I know he's going to stick around, or at least there's a potential for him to stick around. Hey guys, Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlschase.com here for part number 2 of older women versus younger women and dating them, and what's the difference and the pros and cons. So in the first part, we went over how women's personalities change and their communication styles change because of experience and wisdom. Because as I said in the first video, and I'll say it again here, age doesn't necessarily change someone unless they have enough experiences. And then from those experiences, they discern the lessons from those experiences and actually learn a lesson and then gain wisdom from those experiences. So someone can be older and very immature, and someone can be young and very mature because they either have a lot of experiences or they're very smart and know how to learn very quickly. So remember that when we're going over younger women versus older women and what they want and who they want. And that's what this video is about. It's about the desires of who they want, meaning what kind of guys do they like, what are the personality traits, and do they change with age, and then what exactly it is they're looking for depending on their age. And this is going to be one of those videos where I say this, but then I say this, and it kind of depends on the context, and then it's complex because we're dealing with humans, and women, so things get very complex, but at the same time very simple. You know, I think sometimes we overestimate how complicated they are, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so let's start with who they want. So immediately, if you ask me, like right here, what does a younger girl want and what does an older woman want? I kind of go with the stereotype. Younger woman wants a hot stud who's gonna fuck her really hard and have a lot of fun. Older woman wants a little bit more serious and, you know, take things slow. Now, that's wrong because women always want the hot guy who fucks them really good. Okay, when she gets older, she doesn't necessarily not want, you know, an alpha or a lover or a high value guy, an attractive guy who gives her great sex and is fun to be around. It doesn't change. An older woman, you know, sometimes she'll have a young fuck boy and fuck toy, or, you know, she wants an older sophisticated guy, but he's still very attractive and fucks her good. So I think that this idea, maybe I'm the only one who has it, but I'm pretty sure it's a prevalent notion, that as they get older, the woman, you know, gets more serious and wants to settle down. What happens for the most part, because most people aren't very fleshed out and very complex, because most people are not very wise. You know, the average person is quite average or below average. What happens is the vast majority of people, the woman gets older, had her fun when she was younger, wants to settle down, but most of the guys who are willing to settle down or willing to settle down with her are maybe not the best, unless she has very high standards and has the attractiveness and personality to, like, you can demand all you want, but she can actually earn it, right? And she has the skills to get the guys that she wants. But what we see on the internet with all the horror stories and the memes and the Reddit posts and the YouTube videos, especially that's prevalent on a lot of red pill channels and manosphere channels now, is the girl goes through her cock carousel, they call it, and she had a bunch of fun. And they say she fucked 150 guys, which is a vast overestimation. That's ridiculously unrealistic. Like even like a girl that you would consider slutty, like by the time she's like 30, maybe she went through like 20 guys maximum. Like, it's for a girl to have more than that is like extremely rare, and I've done my research, I can promise you. So she's only gonna like have to like settle down with the beta loser guy because there's not much else available. And maybe she wants to overcompensate because she got really fucked over and she wants someone that she can control. But that is the norm because most guys just kind of suck. That's not what they're desiring, and that's what this video is about. It's not about what's normal. I only point out what's normal to tell you to be different from it, okay? Women 18 to fucking 50 plus want a hot guy who fucks them good. Now, what does she consider hot? Does that change, right? Yes and no. being in good shape and dressing well and having a cool haircut and you know, you accessorize well or whatever, she's gonna have different types as well, right? But we're gonna make the video even more complex. Yes, every girl has a type and specific things that she likes, but she's gonna like a guy who's in shape and has muscles. She's gonna like a guy who takes care of himself and grooms himself and looks good and has good fashion, healthy skin, you know, he brushes fucking teeth. They like a guy who looks attractive. That's fucking ubiquitous among all women in all ages, okay? Now, is she gonna prefer certain traits in a guy? Again, yes and no. Even a 30-year-old woman will still like a cocky, funny guy who, you know, has tattoos and, you know, is very kind of wild and the bad boy, right? But what's gonna change whether or not she sleeps with him or sleeps with him and then has a serious relationship is if he has the extra traits on top of that, and realistically she thinks he would settle down. But an older woman will still have a young guy and fuck him and have you know, a fuck buddy for a little bit. Maybe she'll hope for something serious, maybe she'll be realistic and not expect it, but she'll still have fun, okay? So even a girl who's 30, 35, she wants to settle down, she'll still have some fun. So because she has a biological clock, she's going to be desiring to have children. Now, ideally, that sex drive of who she wants children with is the same as the guy she wants as a father. But of course, we have a lot of situations where they're single mothers for a variety of reasons, but a lot of times it's because she fucks a guy who had the traits of what she wanted out of a baby, but he didn't have the traits of what she wanted out of a father and who was gonna stick around, okay? But that doesn't change the fact that what she wants in that guy was because she found him attractive. So she wants a guy who's hot still, right? But you need to have a trait that makes you a long-term partner. So those traits are gonna be hot plus, you're a bit more responsible, you got your shit together, you're a little bit more emotionally available, meaning you can express your emotions, because everyone has emotions, just we choose to hide it because maybe you're a younger fuckboy and you know you don't want to catch feelings. But you're able to express those emotions maturely, right? Not in a weird, you know, lame kind of, oh, I love you. Like, you can genuinely be emotional and she can appreciate it and feel affection because you show her affection. You have the diligence and duty to stay around. You're not so impulsive that you're gonna leave at the first sign of trouble. And you yourself desire to have something longer. That's the most important one, right? So she's going to still want you to be hot, but she wants something longer term, so she needs to see those traits in you and you have to show enough of them. You can have them but not show them. So you have to show them enough for her to make an evaluation like, yeah, my pussy gets tingly for this guy, but also I can use my brain and I know that he affects me emotionally on those levels, but also I know he's gonna stick around, or at least there's a potential for him to stick around. The only exception to this is a girl who's a little bit older, but she hasn't yet had her fun. Sometimes you'll see girls who she's been in serious relationships and then she's like in her late 20s or early 30s and she's like, okay, I wanna have some fun. And she'll have a fuckboy or a casual relationship and she'll still hope for that to turn into something serious. If a girl hooks up with a guy casually, for the most part, she does want something serious out of it because she found you attractive enough to let you in her pussy. That does say something about you. You know, even a massive promiscuous woman, massive slut, right? She's going to like let a lot of guys in, but I think that for the most part, she does want those guys, or at least one of them to stick around, and she usually just jumps from one to the other for, well, we're just gonna get into the psychology of it, but basically, she wants to have a little bit of fun, but probably still wants something serious out of it, and I've personally experienced that where I slept with a 29-year-old, and it was her first time doing something casual, and we went at it for a little bit, and then she wanted something serious after because she started to fall in love with me, but I also fell in love with her and it turned into a serious relationship. But it was her first time doing something casual and she was kind of more open to it because of her age, and she'd had 3 serious relationships beforehand. So there is that one exception, but again, it'll still turn into a serious relationship. Now, what's the converse with a younger girl? Are all younger girls just looking for dick and they're just gonna go on this cock carousel and we're gonna have a lot of fun, and when they're 30, they're gonna settle down for the beta? No, absolutely not. There's tons of young girls who get in serious relationships and they're in those serious relationships for years. Now the problem with guys is they think from the male perspective. They're thinking, okay, if I was a girl, I'd be young and hot, I'd have all these guys coming after me, I'm just gonna be a massive slut. But the problem is you're not thinking like a woman. Women, they love sex. They fucking love the shit out of it. They have orgasms that are better than men's, and I envy them highly for that, okay? But women, even if they're fucking, like I said, promiscuous and pronounce that interesting, promiscuous, she still wants something serious, because the drive of women is they're given this hot body and sometimes a very high sex drive, but their heart is very, most people are like this, okay? It's not just a woman thing, and it's like guys want to fuck everything, but women for the most part kind of want one guy. And I know that that's difficult to say in this time because a lot of people are jaded towards the idea of, you know, monogamy. But women really naturally, from my experience with from talking to and dating and being friends with tons of fucking women, they really like just one man. I've heard it across the board and I've seen it in their behaviors, and the only times I see it not happen is when they just weren't given the right opportunity. And you see it from the outside and you think, oh, you know, she's just having fun and da-da-da. But what you didn't see when you see her confide her true feelings is that she really did just want one guy. And that promiscuity is a lot of times a way to find that one guy, or a way to numb the pain of finding that one guy. So I guess we did go into the psychology of it. So younger women really want something serious. And so they're gonna look for relationships just as much as an older woman. They just aren't so, I don't want to use the word desperate. If they're not in a hurry, because they don't yet feel that biological clock. But there are other reasons that are going to cause them to have relationships. Peer pressure. All their friends have relationships and they want to feel like, you know, they're not the only one at the brunch table without a boyfriend, the only one not to take home a guy for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. So peer pressure, they don't want to, their reputation and their status, they're very dependent on that, right? So they're going to want to have a boyfriend to keep up that image. Obviously they want it, for a lot of different reasons they want it, but that can be one contributing factor to it, right? So peer pressure, and also the fact that they are a woman, and women want, for the most part, and I know it's hard to hear, but it might be refreshing for you to understand that from a guy from a lot of experience can tell you this for the truth. Women want something serious, okay? So at all ages, women are looking for a hot guy. It's just that when they're getting older, they do kind of need those guys with more refined traits, and they know how to spot them because they have experience to tell who's full of shit and who's not. And that's, their experience gives them that discernment and that wisdom to make that assessment. Younger women, yeah, they can have a little bit of fun and be a little bit more whimsical, but they still like a hot guy. And if he's an older guy and he has enough of those traits to appear hot to her, but then he has that mysterious older guy vibe to him, that could be super attractive to her as well. So this video is about you, mostly. It's about women, but I'm teaching it to men so you can understand yourself through their eyes. If you're younger or older, focus on being as hot as possible, right? But with a older woman, you do want to focus more on your ability to be more refined in your communication, demonstrate diligence and you know, maybe some duty, some responsibilities, some consistency. You can be a little bit more emotional. With younger girls, there's nothing wrong with doing all those things, but you need to make sure that you're still appealing to that primal desire in them, because they haven't yet gotten that experience to maybe see what's more refined behavior and a more refined personality. But then after you're sleeping with her and she's kind of opened up to you, then she can start to see the deeper parts of you. So honestly, the answer to the question of do women's desires change? The biological clock has a strong effect, but for the most part, all women of all ages want a hot guy who really cares about them and loves them and cherishes them. Big fucking surprise. So whether she's 18, 25, 30, 35, 40, be as hot as you can, seduce the shit out of her, make her feel desired and cared about and loved and respected, but still be a badass and still be a strong man, right? And so like this video, subscribe to this channel, and learn how to become that man to seduce them, because women of all ages want a hot guy who loves them. So, cool. Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlschase.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, follow me on Instagram. I'll see you soon. Ciao.